What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today is Expanded Thursday, and 3 weeks ago we covered the top 8 decks from the Portland, Oregon regionals, and while looking at the Masters Vision, you know, there's Max Evital, there's Turbo Darkrai, Night March, Turbo Darkrai, Super Garbodor, decks we've all talked about, and there's one deck that actually stood up in the Masters Vision, and that is this Primal Groudon deck that was piloted by Travis Nunless. Now, Primal Groudon, you know, it always makes a top 8 appearance here and there, but it really is not played too much by people anymore. It's definitely a deck that is dying, but I still love this deck. It was one of my favorite decks I played a couple of years. It's almost been 2 years since the Florida Regionals I made top 32 with Primal Groudon when it first came out, and it was definitely very fun, and it's still a very fun deck now. So let's go over this Primal Groudon deck and see why did Travis do so well with it, and why did he make top 8 with this deck. But first off, congratulations Travis making top 8 with this deck. Like I said, a deck that really is not played anymore. But we're going to start off with he played a 3-3 Primal Groudon. The Primal Groudon has the barrier trait. Whenever your opponent plays a trainer card, excluding Pokemon tools and stadium cards, prevent all effects of that card done to this Pokemon. That means it cannot be Lysandre up, it cannot be Crush Neighbor, it can't be Enhanced Hammer, it can't be Zerostic, and all this stuff that affects your Pokemon cannot work, which is great. They can still play it and target Primal Groudon, it just doesn't work, which is really cool. And our attacker today is going to be Gaia Volcano. It does 100 damage, and if there's a stadium card to play, this attack does 100 more damage. Discard that stadium card. And what that means, you do 200. Combine this with strong energies, you can do 220, 240, 260, or even 280 if needed for some weird reason. But you're going to see he does play a 2-1 split. This Groudon's probably actually better nowadays because if you notice, it's weak to water, while the other one is weak to grass. This means your Decidueye matchup is a little bit better because if the Lysandre of this guy, they're not taking a knockout immediately against grass decks, you know, mainly just Decidueye. But on this one, they can. So we don't play it too much, but this Groudon's still really good with Rip Claw, 30, flip a coin of heads, discard energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon, which could help you out in some matches for sure. But a 3-3 Primal Groudon, and that's pretty much the whole deck. I mean, play one Mr.Mime for the bench barrier. This will help you out against Frightenite Evital, because Frightenite cannot hit for 60 on the bench, but then maybe Evital plays Silent Lab, which shuts down your Mr.Mime, and then they can hit your Groudons for 60, and it becomes a really weird game for sure. And for Wobbuffet, Wobbuffet is going to be our preferred starter. Shut down all abilities except for Psychic Pokemon, which means Tremness still works, Hoopa still works, Mr.Mime still works. Those are the big 3 Psychic Pokemon guys for sure. But this is going to help us shut down Shamans and shut down Darkrai's Fury Tree and stuff like that, which is really nice with the Wobbuffet. And that's going to be all the Pokemon. No Shamans, no Hoopas. The deck is really inexpensive. I mean, besides the Tropical Beach, which you do need, I mean, sadly, you do need 4 Tropical Beach. This deck is kind of, I hate to say it's cheap, but it's not cheap. The Pokemon are cheap, that's pretty much it. That's going to be all the Pokemon in the deck. Now, that plays a lot of one-ofs, and that's because we do play the 4 Puzzle Time to reuse 82 cards out of our discard pile, which is great. You can reuse anything you want to. But the deck's going to play Computer Search for consistency reasons, trying to get a Groudon up when ASAP. Not too much ASAP, but help you search. A Tropical Beach is always nice to Computer Search. That's really the only way you can search it out. Korrina does not grab Tropical Beach, unfortunately, but it does grab Computer Search for Tropical Beach. 1 Enhanced Hammer, discard Special Energy in play. 1 Escape Rope, both players switch their active Pokemon. 1 Mega Turbo, so you can get those energies on your Mega Pokemon. And 2 Nest Ball, which is really nice because what you can do right now is use Korrina to search for a fighting Pokemon and an item card, reveal them, put in your hand, which means you can Korrina for a Groudon and a Nest Ball to get you another Wobbuffet, which is really cool, or maybe another Groudon, and just have 2 Groudons out turn 1, and that's where it's going to kind of shine. 1 Frustrator, search for 2 basic energies out of your deck. 4 Puzzle Time to reuse all these one-ofs, of course. 1 Robo Substitute, and 1 Super Potion. This deck is all about healing. Super Potion heals 60 damage from one of your Pokemon if you do discard energy attached to that Pokemon. Now, combine this Pokemon Stimulator, you can heal up to 120 damage in 1 turn, and maybe even 180 if you double puzzle and stuff like that, and that's where Primal Groudon becomes a tank. You have Super Potions and Pokemon Stimulators. You can reuse this Pokemon with the Puzzle Times and make your Groudon kind of invincible, which is really nice. 1 Switch, 4 via Seeker Series in supporter cards, 4 Tropical Beach. This, like, I hate to say it, but you cannot play Groudon. I mean, you might be able to get away with 3 and play like Assault Lab, but Tropical Beach is what's going to help this deck out so much. Once during each player's turn, the player may draw to have 7 cards in their hand. Because the whole point of the deck is to sit Wobbuffet in the active, and just like get 2 Primal Groudons out. And once you evolve in a Primal Groudon, they can't Lysandre out, they can't do anything to bring it to the act spot. And so you're just sitting there pounding Primal Groudon. It does need 4 energies, which is a lot. But with the Wobbuffet slowing down your opponents and they can't hit your Groudon, you should be able to get 2 online before things get too crazy. Or maybe like 1.5, or maybe just 1, and then you get the other one out with like Mega Turbo and stuff like that, which does help out a lot for sure. And that's the point of the deck. You just get 2 Groudons up and swing and just win that way. But 1 course, 2 Lysandre, 1 in, Pokemon Center we already talked about, 3 Juniper. And the cool thing about Groudon is it can play all these nifty little tool cards that we don't see too much. So Assault Vest, making our special energy Pokemon do 40 less. So they have a DC or Double Dragon, they do 40 less damage, which could be the difference of a game for sure. Maybe help out against like Mega Quaza if needed, because Mega Quaza can one-shot a Primal Groudon. If they have 8 Pokemon, they do 240. But with Assault Vest, they cannot now, which is really nice. And they can't bump your tool cards either, because Primal Groudon cannot be affected by it, but they can put a Headringer or a Geminet on your Groudon before you evolve, or even after you evolve. But 1 Float Stone, 1 Focus Sash. If our Primal Groudon is going to be knocked out and it's fully HP, it'll be left with 10 HP instead. Which basically, it has like 2 attacks against like decks that can one-shot you, which not a lot of stuff can, but it's just in a case situation. And 1 Weakness Policy makes it where this Pokemon has no weakness. We talked about early how this Primal Groudon, this Groudon is played for the weakness to make it where Decidueye does not hurt you. And this is the same thing for Weakness Policy. With that, Decidueye can only do 92, which doesn't one-shot you, which is fantastic. And with Wobbuffet, you can shut down the Vileplume, you can shut down Feather Arrows, and by the time you send a Primal Groudon, you should have like 2 Primal Groudons ready to go. They do have to 2-shot your Wobbuffets because 90 and then hit it again, unless they play Muscle Bands, which a lot of the Decidueye decks don't, because they play Vileplume, so they don't play like Muscle Bands and stuff like that. But yeah, that's, we're gonna sit for a little while and beat Decidueye that way. 4 Strong Energy, 5 Fighting Energies, and 1 Psychic Energy. Of course, the Psychic Energy is to help attack with Psychic Assault if needed. Maybe we can even use Side Bolt if we want to go that route, which is pretty bad if we're doing that way, but whatever, we still can. And it can count as you Colress Energy for Primal Groudon. And there we go, there's the Primal Groudon deck. There's a lot going on for this. I mean, this introduction was 8 minutes long. It's a very... It's not too complicated, but it's definitely it's definitely like a little bit harder to play than the other decks for sure, because you have to wait when you attack. When do you do X, Y, Z is it's a lot of different things you have to think about in this deck. But guys, here's a Primal Groudon deck. Shout out to Travis Nunless one more time for making top 8 with this deck that we really don't see too much anymore. But guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and let's see this deck in action. Alright, so against Deranged Hermit, looks like they're playing an Yveltal deck, and or Yveltal Darkrai. So we lost a coin flip, the choosing who goes first or second. Opponent, of course, they want to go first. But do we start a turn 1 Wobbuffet? Alright, so press done, okay. And let's see, what do we start here? Hopefully we start Wobbuffet and then bench a Groudon and be good to go. So press done, okay. Alright, so okay, another mulligan. He knows we're playing Weakness Policy and Psychic Energy. He's seen it both times. Alright, so goodness. We'll start Primal Groudon, which is very unfortunate. I mean, we do have a Strong Energy in Tropical Beach, so we can Juniper, discard our hand, draw 7 new cards, trying to draw on a Wobbuffet and a switching card. Alright, so 2 Pokemon coming down for opponent, and there's a Darkrai and a Sableye. So Darkrai coming out is actually fine, because that is not Yveltal. I mean, I think we still have an okay Yveltal matchup. But we'll see what happens here. I mean, he still keep playing Yveltal. That's 100%. He could be playing Yveltal. So, Trainer's Mail, look at top regards of his deck. Going up on a Max Elixir, which is really not that useful right now, because he has a Darkrai on the active and not on the bench. Unless he, okay, there's Escape Rope. That's how you're going to do it there. Alright, so Darkrai goes to the bench. He then has a Max Elixir put on that Darkrai EX. Alright, so Max Elixir. Darkrai, okay. Yeah, my plan is like Strong Energy, Tropical Beach, Juniper, and just hope we find like a Switch, Wobbuffet. There's a Hoopa. Going to use that Scandring, and do we see a Darkrai Dragons deck? I mean, I don't think it's Dragons because we didn't see a Dragon symbol in the beginning of the screen. I mean, it could be Dragons. So let's see what the Scandring finds our opponent. I mean, I'm thinking it's just going to be 2 Darkrai and maybe a Shaman. Alright, so Darkrai, and Shaman. Not the Darkrai's I was thinking of. I was definitely thinking of the Dark Bolt's Darkrai's. But hey, those Darkrai's work as well. So Ultra Ball, go on this card. Probably the other Darkrai. Or maybe an Evital or a Darkrai. Actually, not going to get anything. Does he have the Darkrai in hand? There's a Muscleman to the bench Darkrai. Was he a Shaman? Oh, he must have. He's probably playing a 2-2 split and probably prized one of them. Alright, so gonna get new hand. There's a Dark Energy active, okay. And it gets free treat because that Dark Logo. There's an N. I guess I'm not complaining too much. I mean, I'm gonna complain depending on what we get off this N. Alright, so that's great. Fantastic. Alright, so computer search. I mean, alright, so this is where I complain because the other hand was like really good, and this hand's not so good. Alright, so computer search, gonna grab a Dark Patch, most likely. Dark Patch to the Darkrai. And, man, we need a top deck. Alright, so Dark to the Darkrai. There's another Dark Patch, okay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. So Dark to the Darkrai, okay. There's a Max Elixir. Uh-oh. He is going crazy. Alright, so 20. And a Shaman for 6. Well, at least we got Robo sub, so Max Elixir. Alright, so calm down there, Charlie Brown. Alright, so 3, 4, 5, 6 energies. There's a fighting energy, so we will have to put down Robo Substitute. Robo Sub, go down. Thank you, buddy. Strong energy. Yeah, I'm gonna put a fighting energy active. Lysandre Hoopa. And just pass. Alright, so I'm oh, that's very unfortunate. Okay. So Dark Energy active, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Doing 180, which knocks us out. And it gets us to give both our puzzles away. $190 damage. Great. Alright, so yeah. Well, send a Robo sub and let's see what happens. Do we top deck? Get him, Robo sub. And yeah. So this is one of the downsides of the deck. I mean, we had a good hand and then we got in down to 0. I mean, I have to put this game in. There's no way you don't put that game in. Our opponent had a turn to 190 damage with Darkrai. That is insane. That is crazy. Alright, so yeah, he did play 2 Darkrai. I mean, he probably prized 1. He played Evital as well. I mean, man, he just had everything. Like, that was insane. But we'll see one more game of the deck here in a second. Hopefully we actually play a game, but there's no way we don't put that game in. That was crazy insane. Like, how my opponent got a turn to 190. You can see why Darkrai is one of the best decks in Expanded and why we saw it everywhere. But we'll see one more game of the deck here in a second, and we'll see what happens with the Primal Groudon deck. Alrighty, guys. Alright, guys. So putting against Alan Chen, looks like they're playing a Volcanion deck. Okay. I don't have Volcanion. I mean, we do have, like, Wobbuffet to shut them down just a little bit, because they can't use Steam Up to knock out our Wobbuffet. But then Groudon has to take like back-to-back knockouts, which is very hard to do sometimes. So the call the coin flip, and let's see what is going to happen. Call the coin flip. Waiting to see. All right. So, we won the coin flip. Yes, I would love to go first. Thanks for asking, Pokemon. Alright, so on our turn, let's see, what do we start with? So, Wobbuffet, Nest Ball. So, actually, like, a really good turn 1. We can put down Wobbuffet. We can put down Robosub as well. Nest Ball for Groudon and play an in. Give us a new hand of 6. The Wobbuffet does not shut down Hoopa, though. That's the only downfall of this start right now. But hopefully, we find, like, a good old Tropical Beach, an energy detach Groudon, and try to start attacking ASAP, because I mean Volcanion is like something you have to worry about, because they can one-shot you for sure. They can. Wait, can they? 3, 6, 9, 12, 3, 6, 9. They have to like quadruple steam up and then they knock you out. Okay. So they're still in the start of Pokemon, and is it Volcanion? Is it Baby Volcanion? I mean, we're pretty sure they're playing Volcanion. We saw Water and Fire, which is definitely a sign of Volcanion. And yeah, I mean, Volcanion just won its standard regionals, but I don't know how great it did in expanded. So Wobbuffet from opponent, okay. I mean, Mr. Mime. So we'll Nest Ball to grab a Groudon. We'll grab this one, okay. Alrighty, and alright, so all 4 Tropical Beaches are here. So grab a Wobbuffet. We're gonna put down Robo Sub and play an end to give us both new hands of sex. And let's see, what do we find here? Find a Super Potion and a Tropical Beach, but no energy for this turn, which is very unfortunate. So put down Tropical Beach, and we'll Tropical Beach for 2. And no energy, but 3 Sycamore, 3 Junipers. Alright, but like I said, he cannot take a knock on Wobbuffet. That's impossible. Like, I mean, unless he finds a Volcanion and it's a Ho-Ho Huntail deck. Alright, so Wobbuffet's going to actually play a really good part in this matchup, because he cannot actually use Ho-Oh's Rebirth while Wobbuffet's in the active spot. But you have to knock out either 4 Huntails or 3 Ho-Oh EXs, which I don't know which one's going to be harder to do. So this card's a Fire, Fighting, and a Dark. Okay. This is not a deck we really see, but it's a fun deck for sure. You just like a Rebirth, use Huntail, do a ton of damage. So Computer Search, going to discard 2 cards from his hand, and let's see what he gets here. Discards a Fairy and a Bursting Balloon. Ooh, Bursting Balloon. That's not good. Okay. I kind of wish we had a Korrina, because I would love to Korrina for a Professor Letter and just like get a fighting energy and be good to go. There's a Float Stone to the Mr. Mime N. Alright, so we get a new hand of sex. Alright, so we found a Nest Ball, a Tropical Beach, and a Mr. Mime. Again, Mr. Mime, go away, please. Alright, so Ultra Ball, this card's double Ho-Oh EXs, but like I said, he cannot use Rebirth because Wobbuffet's in the act spot. So he Tropical Beach for 7 new cards. So on our turn, we will Fighting Energy the Groudon-EX. We'll put down another Groudon-EX. We will Nest Ball for a Wobbuffet. Put down the Wobbuffet. We're gonna Korrina for a. Well, we already have a Groudon. Primal Groudon. Duh. We'll grab Primal Groudon and a letter. And right now, I'm just gonna Primal Evolve onto our opponent's turn. So yeah, we'll just end our turn onto our opponent's turn. My plan next turn is Professor Letter for 2 Fighting Energies, and it's Fighting Energy this guy. Play a Sycamore, and hope to hit another Primal Groudon to evolve, and maybe Mega Turbo, get this guy in play, and be good to go. Alright, so like I said, he cannot Rebirth though. He has to find a Lysandre to get around this guy. He can Lysandre up this Groudon, which is probably the best thing to do if he has that. If he has that, I mean, this is probably his only turn to go for a Lysandre if he has one. If he does not have one, he is going to be in trouble for sure. Okay. But I mean, we're still not in the like clearance 100% because we have to knock out like multiple Huntails, which is going to be very difficult to do for sure. Okay, so another Clamp will come down. Okay. I mean, the big question: does he have a Lysandre? All right. So there's a oh, there it is. So Lysandre, bring up the Groudon-EX. I told you, man. All right, so Rebirth. Did he flip heads or tails? I wasn't looking. All right, so Fire, Fire. Oh, nah, that's not a Fire. It's not even Fire at all. That's Dark Fairy and Fighting. All right, so another Rebirth. Great, fantastic. Another 3 energies come to the field. So 1. Okay, so retreat to Ho-Oh, and we'll see a Rainbow burn. Okay, so do an 80. Alright, so on our turn, we get a Fighting Energy. So we're going to let her, we'll grab just 1 Fighting Energy. Alright, so we need to find the Switch, the Float Stone, and our Computer Search. So we'll grab a Fighting Energy, okay. We'll put a fighting energy in this guy. We will Juniper, discard our hand, draw 7 new cards. Alright, so we find a computer search. I'm going to discard the Wobbuffet and the Super Potion to grab a Switch. Ooh, man, we have a Switch, but will that actually help us? I think we still need a Switch for sure. So I'm going to switch, because if we don't switch, we give him the opportunity to, like, retreat, take a knockout. So I'm going to send the Robo sub right now, because he already has 2 hoes on the field, so he really can't use Rebirth again. I'm going to Mega Turbo to the Primal Groudon. And we go Tropical Beach for 3. Alright, so Fighting Energy, Enhanced Hammer, a double puzzle. Okay, so on to our opponent's turn. He can knock out the Robo sub, that's fine. And then we get VS Seeker for Korrina, and be good to go. Alright, so does the opponent have another VS Seeker for Lysandre? If he does, that's not going to be too bad. I will just grab the Float Stone. I want to save the Float Stone for a Wobbuffet, so let me see a VS Seeker for another Lysandre. I'm going to bring in the Groudon. Okay. Alright, so bring in the Groudon. Okay, so we have 2 options here. We can either knock out the Ho-EX with a Gaia Volcano for 200, okay, or so he's gonna send the Groudon, okay, so another Rainbow Bird for 80, which doesn't knock us out. Alright, so I think what I'm gonna do here actually is VS Seeker for a Korrina. Okay. So we will Korrina, and with the Korrina, I'm gonna grab a Primal Groudon and a Float Stone. We will Float Stone the active. Retreat into the Wobbuffet, put a Fighting Energy in this guy, and Primal Evolve. Alright, so there we go. So on our opponent's turn, let's see what happens. He cannot Lysandre Groudons anymore. Does he find a Huntail to start attacking with? I mean, either way, if he... I don't know. It's very weird. We have a Primal Groudon that's, like, very heavily damaged right now. Okay, but we'll see. We'll see how this goes. Alright, so there's a Parallel City coming down. Is he gonna bump? He's gonna make it redo less damage. He's gonna discard a Clamper on a Ho. Okay, that's very interesting for sure. Okay, there's a VS Seeker. Let's see what he grabs here. Does he grab a Lysandre maybe? So Lysandre, who does he bring up though? The Lysandre? He doesn't know what Primal Groudon does. And there's a Rainbow Bird for 80. Yep, he just realized what that does. Alright, so we'll set up the Groudon-EX. Yeah, Groudon-EX. Alright, so on our turn, we will go for a Gaia Volcano for knockout. Okay. Doing 180, we'll go down to 4 price cards. He can then double Rebirth. So there's a Pokemon Center and a Strong Energy, okay. So here comes Clamperl. Alright, but on my turn, what I'm going to do is Strong Energy, Lysandre Ho, put it on Tropical Beach to take a knockout. And then, I mean, I think we should be fine here. This Groudon will take 2 knockouts on... I think Parallel City is glitched. Oh, no, it is. Okay, he had the spread. I thought it was, like, spread for some reason. So 300 coming down. Oh, EX, okay. There's a Keldeo coming down, okay. Does our opponent have an in? Oh, no. Why did I say anything? All right, so we get 6 new cards. We get 4. Do we find a Lysandre plus an energy? Tropical Beach, Psychic Energy, okay. Not what we needed, really. But does our opponent find a Huntail? How much HP does Huntail have is another big question. So many questions. All right, so another Rebirth has, okay. That's 5 energy on the field, I think. No, 4. Okay, so 4 energies coming down. A Lightning Energy, okay. Does my opponent really not have a Huntail? It's the kind of answer. This is what we need, really. And so pass on to our turn. Alrighty, so we get a Pokemon. Alright, so Pokemon Center this guy. We will Psychic Energy to Primal Groudon. I'm gonna Assault Vest the active and Gaia Volcano. I know Assault Vest doesn't, like, literally does nothing, but I'm just trying to thin our deck now just because our opponent ends us. So we're going to Lysandre for next turn, which is great. Can Huntail take a knockout? I don't think so. Mr.Mime will come up, but we have a Lysandre plus Truck. Ooh, man. Actually, if we get, I think I'm just going to knock out whatever and save the Lysandre for later on. And the Huntail has 100 HP exactly, which is great. Alright, so another Huntail come down. This guy does 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. It does 100 right now, which does not knock out our Primal Groudon. We did Pokemon Center to heal this Groudon up. And, I mean, if he finds an energy, he can do 120. So there's a grass, but no water energy. Oh my goodness. So he's going to treat to Ho-EX, okay. There's a Float Stone to the Bench Keldeo, Battle Compressor. Oh man, what do we do here? He's going to take a knockout going out of. He's not actually not going to take a knockout. He's going to Rebirth for 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 100 damage. But then we get Tropical Beach, take a knockout. And I don't think he can retaliate for a knockout. So 100 damage, okay. Because we have 140 left. So what we do is Pokemon Center the active. Putting on Tropical Beach. And we will Gaia Volcano for 200. Alright. I have 180 because of resistance. Go down to 1 price card, which we can license with Huntail to win the game. So Wobbuffet and Escape Rope coming down. And oh boy, I mean, I was kind of scared at first. I'm not going to lie. He had to turn to Lysandre, bring up our only Primal Groudon. But it looks like we actually will take the game against the Huntail Ho. So okay, there's a Ho. Going to Rebirth. Get a bunch of energies on the field. But I do not think you take a knockout. So Ho, get a Dark, Fairy, Steel. Okay. Huntail coming down. Okay. And I mean, gonna send the Ho-EX. Gonna Rainbow Burn, do it 100 damage. On to our turn. Get a VS Seeker, alright? So we have an option here. We could Lysandre win the game right now. Or we can dig for a Tropical Beach. Part of me really wants to dig for Tropical Beach. Oh boy. Let's go for it. Let's VS Seeker for a second more. Discard your hand, draw 7 new cards. I want to do as much damage as we can. Forget the Lysandre. We're gonna go for a Tropical Beach, and we find double puzzle, which will grab us a Tropical Beach. Oh man, I'll grab 2 cards, this and this. Okay, we'll put down Tropical Beach, put a Strong Energy active, and we'll swing for 200 damage. Now we actually did 200 now. And we'll take the game, taking 7 price cards against the Huntail Ho deck. And there we go. There's the Primal Groudon Wobbuffet deck. It is a really strong deck right now. I think it's a fantastic deck for sure. Travis Nunless did fantastic, piled the top 8. And like I said, I wanted to cover the most interesting deck from the Masters Division, which was definitely his deck. I mean, like I said, we have Max Evital, Turbo Darkrai, Night March, Primal Groudon, Turbo Darkrai, and Sableye Garbodor. But definitely want to showcase a deck that, like, a lot of people don't play anymore, but definitely congrats to Travis making top 8 for sure. But guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Make sure you go vote for your favorite Fan Friday deck on the Facebook page right now, guys. But it'll be a fantastic Friday. Alrighty, bye. Alright guys, I just want to give a quick shout out to our 3 sponsors, 60 Cards, Yeti Gaming, and the Pokemon Company International. Links to everything will be down below in the description. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Alrighty.